Hello everyone, and welcome to the Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition Party Tier List. Wow, that's a long sentence to say at once. Today we're going to be ranking all the playable characters in Xenoblade X Definitive Edition, plus 2 bonus characters that I wanted to personally rank, so I included them. So yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to warn you, there will be spoilers for the entirety of the game. I'm going to be talking about, probably not the entire plot, but, parts of the plot throughout different parts of the game. So if you don't want spoilers, don't watch this. Also, you can see my tiers here. I made 5 tiers. Unfortunately, the S tier got kind of messed up. It's on 2 lines. But you know what? That's okay. Perfection is on 2 lines. That was not intentional. But yeah, we're going to get straight into it. And again, spoilers for the game. Just letting you know. Just want to make sure you know. So we're going to start with Elma, and we're going to go down the line, rank all of them. It's going to be more based on story than actual, how good they are as playable characters, because almost the entire playthrough, I really only played with Elma, Lynn, and Gwen, and me, my character, which did I include myself in this list? No, that's okay. I was going to, but I must have forgotten. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Let's start with Elma. That's my easiest ranking, if you ask me, because she is my favorite character in the game. I think she's easily the best character in the game. She also gets the most screen time of all the characters, so maybe that makes it a little biased towards her. But I just think that she's perfect. I love the reveal of seeing she wasn't a human. After all that time, you think that she's just like everyone else, and then you get this big reveal at the end of chapter 12. I thought that was so fun. Her character is also just really real and interesting and complex, and I think that is one of her greatest strengths. She's just so interesting as a character. Also, her interactions with Lynn and the other characters, you can tell they really appreciate her and they care about her, and I think it makes sense because she's just so kind-hearted and hardworking. I just think that she's amazing. I like her Mimiasome form, but I also like her real form. I think I prefer the Mimiasome form. I think it looks better in my opinion. But I mean, both are cool, honestly. Great character overall, honestly. Yeah, 10 out of 10. She goes in S tier. And I'm also going to be ranking it left is higher than right. I notice people do that sometimes, so the further to the right they are, the lower in that tier they are, just so you know. We're gonna go into Lynn. Where do I put Lynn? Oh no. I do really like Lynn, but she's not my favorite character, even though she gets a lot of screen time and she is very likable, and I don't have any negative things to say about her. I think I'm gonna put her in A tier. I know, not S tier. Feels kind of like a crime, honestly. But I don't know. I think she has depth, but sometimes she's a little bit naive. She is a child. She's only 13, you know? Lynn is a child, so it makes sense. But it's hard for me to rank her S because I think her character isn't as developed as Alma. I think she's really interesting, and she is. I put her in A tier for a reason. I do really like her. I think as a mechanic, she's really impressive, and the way she cared about Lao, protecting him even when he had betrayed everyone, I really respected that. I thought that was really great gameplay. I mean, not gameplay, story. I thought that was really great story, a story plot twist, and I think that really made me appreciate her character more. Alright, let's go to Irina. I think Irina is also an A tier character for me. Irina, she's very, serious and intense sometimes, but I really like her relationship with Gwen. The two of them together are really fun, and their dynamic is are they in a sibling type relationship, or are they into each other? You can't tell, which is really weird to me. I think they're into each other, but then in some of the heart-to-hearts they're yeah, Irina was yeah, he's like my brother, and I was hold on a minute, what? You know what I mean about that? I just think that's a strange dynamic that the two of them have. But I really like Irina. I'm sad she didn't get more screen time. She definitely did in chapter 13, which I really appreciated. But yeah, it did feel like a lot of the game was mainly just Elma and Lynn, which was kind of a little bit disappointing to me. But I do really like Irina. Okay, then Gwen. Where do we put Gwen? I really like Gwen, but I don't think he's above Lynn to me, although I do really like his character. Do I like Gwyn more than Lynn? Oh, that's tough. I think I do like Gwyn more than Lynn. I'm gonna put him in S tier. That might seem like a weird take because he's definitely not in it as much as Lynn, but when we learn about his like relationship with Irina's brother and we learn about Gwyn's past, things like that, I really started to care about his character a lot. Maybe I'm also biased because he was on my team that I played throughout the entire game, so I like always saw him in the cutscenes that aren't like regular cutscenes, you know, the ones where you can turn the camera. I really like his character because he's so genuine and nice, and he always cares about Irina. He's always looking out for her, always wanting to protect her, even though she kind of protects him more than anything, I think. But yeah, he's so genuine. I just really like his character. Alright, moving on to Doug. Oh, I don't mean to be rude, Doug, but you're kind of in B tier for me. I like Doug, but he doesn't stand out to me very much. I think he's interesting as a character in that his story is interesting and learning about him is interesting, but his actual personality is a little bit flat to me, personally. I still think he's good, hence the B tier, but I don't love him, you know? I think maybe if he'd had more time being fleshed out, then I would have had a different opinion about him, but from the affinity quest I did for him, I didn't feel him like really grabbing me. I felt like he was there and was interesting, but not like amazing personally. So I'm gonna leave him in B tier. Alright, let's move on. Hope. How do I feel about Hope? I'm gonna put her in C tier. Nothing against her, but she's so frustrating at times. She's so selfless, which is really sweet, but I think it's to the point where it's taken way too far. I understand that what happened with Ornella was really traumatizing, and I can't blame her for that. That's not her fault. It's just, before that, I mean, the way the stuff she went through is so genuine and real, but before that happened, like, her personality is a little bit like she would let anyone walk all over her, and that made me kind of sad for her. It kind of decreased my appreciation for her character. I think she did grow and improve, but she wasn't my favorite personally, you know, in the entire plot. Alright, let's move on. Next we've got Yelv. What do I think about Yelv? I did like Yelv, but he wasn't like my absolute favorite. I honestly can't remember his plotline that well. I'm gonna put him in B tier behind Doug. I think Yelv was interesting to me because we learned he was looking for his friend. I didn't get his last affinity mission done, which kind of bums me out because I was really curious to see where that story would go. But what we did know about him, the quest he had us do for him was really interesting, and finding the Mimeosome pieces for him was fun. I really enjoyed that, and I think he's just kind of funny as a character. He's entertaining. He seems very serious sometimes, but he's also like kind of just sweet and nice under like the serious exterior, I think. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave him there. Okay, next we have L. I liked L a lot. He really grew on me, especially at the end. At first I was like, I like him, but I'm not obsessed with him. But now I think I would put him above Irina, below Lynn. I do really like L. I think his quirky, like, the way he said popular Earth phrases incorrectly was really entertaining. That might be my favorite part about his character, all the like funny lines he got. He's also just, he's again very genuine, and I do like him a lot as a character, especially because of the comedy. I think that's my favorite part about his character. Personally, you don't really get a lot of like his personal story in the game, not that I saw at least, unless I missed an affinity mission, which is possible. But I felt like they could have gone into more detail on what his personality is like. Like, I would have really appreciated that, because I did like the humor and what, like, the lightheartedness he brought to the cast, but I did feel like it was missing who he really is, you know? Okay, next up we got Fry. Fry is okay. I think I'm gonna put him in C tier. I've got nothing against Fry. I just don't think he's really that interesting. Maybe I should put him in B tier. B or C, B or C. That's tough. I think I'm gonna, maybe I'll put him in, yeah, I'll leave him in C tier, because I'm torn. But he could potentially be B tier, because I do kind of like the guy, you know? He is entertaining and funny, and I like that he just was like, let's go to the bar and drink. That's so entertaining to me, I don't know. But his relationship with his brother, Fog, that was really tough. I mean, he kind of like shut down on Fog, and that didn't really make me like him more, that's for sure. It definitely made me like him less, which I was disappointed about, because when I first met him, I had a really positive opinion of him. But then it kind of wavered a bit when I met Fog. So I don't think I could put him higher than C tier. Speaking of Fog, that's our next character. I did really like Fog. I think I would put him in B tier. I like Fog because he's kind of naive a little bit, like I said with Lynn, but in a different way. He's just like kind of oblivious sometimes to things, I feel like. But in opposite of Fry, when I saw Fog with his brother, I actually liked him more. When I learned about the relationship, I liked him more, you know? So it's like kind of the opposite. I definitely liked Fog more than Fry, and I thought the quests for Fog were really fun, especially the one where you're running around Oblivia and you're looking for something, and you just go to the same site for a second time, and you're like, wait, why am I here again? And it's just because Fog forgot that you'd already been there once before. I thought that was really fun, well crafted, and entertaining. Actually, I'd put him above Yelv and Doug, so yeah, let's put him there. Next up is Alexa. I think I'm going to put her in A tier above Doug. With Alexa, she's very fun. She's very, like, bubbly and happy and interesting as a character. I liked her a lot, but I almost thought she was a little over the top sometimes. Like, I liked her character, but I thought it was a little bit exaggerated. It was interesting, but not to the point where I was like, wow, I really resonate with this character. I thought her quest was fun, like working on the skulls and various things like that. I can't entirely remember the quest, but I remember them being fun. I thought they were entertaining, but her as a character didn't really leave a mark on me like some of the other characters did, so I don't think I could put her above B tier. Hey, we get our first D tier character. I feel like this is an unpopular opinion, but I did not like Murderess at all. I didn't like her to the point that after I got her, I didn't do any of her affinity missions. She just was so off-putting to me that I was like, I'll wait on her affinity missions, and then they just got pushed further and further back in my mind that I never did them. It's just because her first impression with me left a terrible first impression, I guess you could say, because she literally betrayed us and, like, took the money. Like, I had no respect for her after that. I was like, seriously? Like, that's your choice here? You're just gonna join our team but then betray us and then still want to be on our team? Like, I don't know what the point of her character was. I mean, I guess you need variety in team members, but was she really necessary? Maybe the affinity missions would tell a different story, but I didn't do them, you know? Okay, moving on, we have Bose. Also did not like Bose, was not a fan of him. Liked him more than Murderous, though. The reason I didn't like Bose, I think he has good intentions, but the way he treated people was kind of harsh, kind of, like, too harsh, like, strong and kind of mean, I thought, to his pupils. Like, for the affinity quest we did for him, I can't remember it exactly, but I remember we were rescuing someone, and he basically, like, yelled at the guy until he changed his mind, I think. He was basically just, like, making him feel bad, and I was like, am I remembering that right? I think that's what happened. I just remember, like, not getting a good impression of him from his affinity quest, and I didn't do his later affinity quests because of that. Same thing as Murderous. Alright, let's move on. We got Neil Nail next. I really like Neil Nail. Oh, that's a tough one. I think I'm gonna put her in A tier. Where in A tier? Maybe right here. Yeah, I really liked Neil Nail. I think, like, my favorite thing about her is that she's, like, very real. I feel like I say that about a lot of the characters, but it's kind of true. She's just so forward, and she knows what she's doing. She's very smart. She's apparently, like, the highest position in the Clurian society, which is crazy. Didn't learn that until, like, near the end, but I love that for her. I think that's so cool. And her quest with Celica was really fun. I enjoyed that one a lot. I can't wait to rank Celica. She's really great. But Neil Nail was really fun, and I think one of my, definitely high up on my list of characters, hence why she's in the A tier. Neil Nail is a great character, and I didn't even realize there were new characters in the Definitive Edition compared to the regular, which is Neil Nail, Gajarg, Liesel, and Wasn't there one more? Who was the fourth one? I can't remember, but I think there were 4 new characters added. Oh, Al, of course. Yeah, added to the team. And because of sorry, I'm like, my hand is like just making weird motions here. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, I think that's what I have to say about that. Moving on to Liesel. I liked Liesel, but I kind of felt like we didn't get a lot out of her. I'm gonna put her in B tier, below Fog, but above Alexa. I thought Liesel was fun. She was interesting. I liked that she had her own skill. That was really nice, convenient. Didn't have to buy one for her, and she was really interesting as a character. She and her friend, who I think her name was Alicia, maybe. They got along so well, and their relationship was really fun. And I remember her standing up for her when their boss was just a complete jerk. So I really respected her for that. That was my favorite thing about her. But as much as I liked her, she didn't like stand out as my favorite character or anything, hence why she's in B tier. Let's move on. Nagi next. Oh, where do I put Nagi? I think Nagi's another B tier character. Apparently B tier is my biggest tier. Let's put him below Liesel. Okay, Nagi. Oh, well, but maybe I'll put him at the beginning of B tier. Yeah, I did really like Nagi. I think Nagi, he got a bigger role than a lot of characters because he was, I don't know what his position was, but he's one of the top government officials in the game. Secretary, is that his position? Secretary of something? Yeah, I really liked having him on our team. I loved that affinity quest where he went with like the samurai sword, he went and like chopped people down, and I was like, I couldn't tell if he had a special ability because he went super fast, and they never addressed it later, which I thought was really weird. I think that was on purpose, but I was always like, is he fully human? Because the things he was able to do seemed inhuman to me. But he was very good-hearted throughout the entire game, and I really respected him as a person. He seemed very, like, likable. Like, easily likable. Unlike some characters, cough, cough, murderous, cough, cough. Anyway, moving on to Celica. Okay, we get another S-tier character. I love Celica. I think she is one of my favorite characters. That's actually surprising even me, honestly, because I didn't even think about it. I didn't think about this beforehand, of course. I didn't prepare it. I went into this just blind, honestly. But I really loved Celica's character arc. I think her relationship with Rock is my favorite part. Like, their closeness and the way that she takes care of him and he takes care of her is really sweet. When Shasan was like, you have to fight to Rock, she stepped up and was like, no, I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to make sure Rock doesn't have to fight. And I really liked that. I also just like her personality a lot. She's very quiet and reserved, but like, she's also very kind. And I really like that about her character. I think that's why she's an S tier for me. Even though she's not got a big role in the story, what we did get of her was like perfect. I loved it. Okay, moving on to Gajarg. That's definitely A tier. Where would I put Gajarg? Maybe like here? Yeah, I liked Gajarg a lot, hence why he's an A tier. I love like his character arc of being a villain. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put him, no, I think not above Neil Nail, but I did love his character. I think like my favorite part was when we battled him. I don't know what chapter it was, but we fought against him and Buid, and he was like, no, we'll do this fair and honorably. If you beat us, you can go free. I was like, wow, that's not something you get out of a typical like villain character. And his arc from like a bad guy to like someone who's on our team as an ally was really cool. I didn't do his affinity mission, which is unfortunate, but I don't think I did. Yeah, I don't think I did. But I loved his character, and I was really happy with the story arc, the choices that were made for him, and the way he and his people also left the planet with us. I'm glad they survived. You know, in the end of chapter 13 when we all left Mira, that made me really happy. He's a good leader. I remember in his heart-to-heart, he was like, do you think we should stick to our warrior ways, or should we grow with the times and stop being such a militaristic people? And I really appreciated that he had put so much thought into that, you know? That was really cool to me. Okay, next up is Mia. Here's the thing. I really did like Mia, but we barely see any of her in the game. I think I'll put her in B tier. To be fair, it's hard to rank her because the only time we actually hear her voice is in her one affinity mission. where we learn a little bit about her, but not much. I did do side quests for her before that, but like actual time interacting with her in like cutscenes and things, it was very limited. So I think if I'd seen her more, she might have been an A tier or S tier. But because of that, I can't put her above B tier, honestly. I just didn't feel as connected to her as I wanted to, which bummed me out because I did really like what I saw of her. Yeah, yep. Last party member, official party member, I should say, is Al. Actually, Al is probably my second favorite character in the game. That might be like a controversial take, I don't know. I just really liked him as a character. For one thing, his character model looks really good, but also, more importantly, as a person, he's really, like, he's funny, but then he's also sincere. Like, he bounces between the two a lot. And I really enjoyed his relationship with Elma. I thought that was really sweet. And I liked the way he was always, like, so upfront with his emotions. Like, he'd always be like, yeah, I love all you guys. He wasn't afraid to say that. And I think that's really cool in a male character, because you get a lot of stoic guys who are like, no, I can't talk about my feelings and stuff like that. But Al was so real. I mean, I do think there were moments where I didn't like his character, like the quest where with the pizza where he, like, kept demanding stuff from the guy. I do think that was really a real knock on his character, which I didn't like. I do agree that it was comedic, but yeah, that was tough. But I outside of that, like everything else, I thought he was like a perfect addition to the team. I really like that he got a big role in the end of the game. So I have to put him in S tier, second favorite character. So now that we're done with the actual playable characters, I put in 2 bonus characters that I really wanted to rank because I really like them. Of course they're not playable, but I felt like they were very important. I could have put Shasan too, but I wasn't a big fan of Shasan, so I was like, nah. But Vandam, this is a weird take probably, but I think Vandam, before the voice change in Chapter 13, his original voice actor, no offense to the new person, but the original voice actor was way more likable for his character, I thought. But for the original voice actor and the original way Vandam was, I thought he was perfect. 10 across the board, amazing character. So, like, he was acting tough and serious, but he was actually really sweet and kind underneath it. And the affinity quest we did for him was really fun. I really enjoyed that. I loved learning about his character, and I think I'll put him above Celica. I love Celica, but I do love Vandam more. So yeah, last character. I'm sure we can't have a tier list without having Tatsu on this list. I really do like Tatsu. He is kind of annoying at times, but I'm gonna put him in A tier next to Lin. That might seem crazy because he did annoy me a lot of the not a lot of the time, but sometimes. He was just too quirky, and like the comments he made were like, I was like, what are you talking about, man? Which is why it's weird that I'm putting him in A tier, but even though he said stuff like that, I thought he was like a really fun character to have. As much as I say he was annoying, I did love a lot of the comments he made in cutscenes, and I loved his relationship with Lin, their jokes about, like, she was gonna cook him, and then he was like, no, don't do that. It was just really funny, even though I have to say it was a little bit repetitive. I still really enjoyed that, and I think he really brought the team together. Even though he was a non-party member, I couldn't help but feel like without him, it would have been way different, the game. So anyway, that's the entire list of characters that I have. That's all for this tier list. I hope you enjoyed it. Here you can see my S to D tier character rankings. Hopefully this isn't too controversial. I still think Elma's the best character in the game. If I had to rank my own playable character, I think I'd put my character in A because it was really fun to have all those dialogue options. But of course, our playable character couldn't speak, so it was there's no actual dialogue you can hear, which kind of prevents like a lot of story elements that could have been included. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just feel like if our playable character was like the characters in the main games, probably would have been an S tier. But as it is, this is, again, my tier list. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm probably going to do another one for Xenoblade 3 when I complete that game, which is what will go up really soon. The first part of my Xenoblade 3 playthrough is going to go up soon, so if you enjoyed Xenoblade X or this tier list, please consider checking that out if you want. I played part 1 already, and I absolutely love it, so anyways, that's really all for today. So if you like this tier list, feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscribe if you like. All that stuff is really appreciated. And yeah, hopefully I see you in the next series, I guess. Bye.